Okay, we're going to pick up from where we left off in the last lesson. You can see that we have our sketch with our name. We're turned in isometric view. And now we're going to add some thickness to this part. Now, in order to add thickness, we're going to use the extrude command. And you'll notice that when we finish the sketch that we have a new toolbar up here on the ribbon. Everything looks different. We're in 3D model ribbon. We have our browser bar here showing our sketch. And now we're going to add some thickness to it. So we're going to select extrude. And you notice how all of our sketch is turned sideways. We do that because we want to make sure that we know which direction our extrude is going to go, whether it goes in or out of the board. And here are our extrude options. We'll look at those in a second. So the first thing we want to do is, you can see our profile is selected. The profile is the enclosed area that we want to make thick. So I want to make the F thick. And you can see it gives me a preview. I want to make the I thick, the S, and the H. Okay? Now, this is the distance that I want to extrude it. If I make it 0.5, you can see it's going to be it won't be so thick. I can make it 3, it'll be thicker. 5, I'm just going to put down 1 for now. That's the thickness I want. And I'm going to, you can see that it's coming out of the board. Now, the problem with coming out of the board in this case is the sketch that I drew, I want to be the front of the part. If I come out of the board and click the front of the part, this extrusion becomes the front and the sketch is on the back. So what I want to do is I want to select the second arrow that goes back into the board so that my sketch is actually the front of the part. Okay? There's some other options here. We can extrude from the midline, or we can extrude asymmetrically. We can go so far in one direction and a different dimension in the other direction. We want the one going into the board, and we'll go ahead and say OK. Now, there's my extrusion. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my rotate tool. And you can see that I've got an extrusion. Now, there's a color to this part because previously I selected a color. Up here are your colors. So if we click on the right up here, we're going to select, there's dark green. The extrusion becomes dark green. There is engine turned, whatever that means. There's my engine turned. So there are materials, there are surface colors, surface textures. So up here is how you change the color or the texture to one color throughout the entire part. I like cyan, so let me change it back to cyan. Or gold's pretty good. Now you can also change the color of individual faces. You'll notice that this three-dimensional shapes, they have faces. So let's say that I want to change the color of just the inside face of the S. I can select the S, right-click it, and go down to Properties. And then I can make that face appear as whatever I want, as the feature if I want to, as the part, or I can select some other type of material. Let's say I want it to be blue glazing. I say OK, and now it's blue glazing. And if I did that on all my faces, if I hold the Control key down, I should be able to select multiple faces. See that? I can select multiple faces by holding the Control key down. This is one way that you can do some tonal shading on your part. I want those to be the same. Let's see here. What was that? It was... I forgot the color. Oh. Let's make it sky blue dark. I'll change this one to sky blue dark because I forgot what I just said. Oh, there was blue glazing. Okay, sky blue dark. Sky blue dark. Okay, so there is every front view or side view of the faces the same color, and now I can change. If I hold the Control key down, I can change the top surfaces to a different color. Let's go ahead and make those. Oh, they'll be, I don't know, whatever you want, really. Gray. That's exciting. Okay, so you can see here that I have my name, very simple. I have changed the colors. I have an extrusion with thickness. I have it rotated. I don't want to use the isometric view because it kind of hides my letters. I'm going to go ahead and use the rotate tool to turn them a little bit more this way so I can see what the letters are, to see my colors on my faces, and voila, we have our basic name. Now in the next lesson we're going to learn some other things that will give us a chance to make a more stylized name and also show us how to manipulate the file, the actual drawing with the sketch and the extrusion, and what to do when we make mistakes. So we'll be looking at that in the next lesson.